Guys, it's time for another iceberg. This time, it's a TikTok iceberg. Sorry about that. TikTok is a bottomless well of entertainment. I love it. It's one of my favorite websites. There are so many people that are on this website, and there's an unlimited amount of content that is posted every single day. My hair looks really stupid right now. And that's why I like it. The variation of content that is posted on the platform. It's awesome. There's so much just crazy shit. You'll see cartel videos one day, and then the next day you'll see a fellow that has a very toxic relationship with hot dogs. How many videos are posted to TikTok every day? You might be asking yourself, literally at your phone right now.
How many videos are well, oompaville?
34 million videos posted each day on this platform. That is fucking crazy, dude. And we're gonna start at the surface level of the TikTok iceberg and slowly submerge ourselves in the frigid Chinese water and expose you guys to some of the most despicable people and infamous things that have perpetrated this social media empire. Hello everybody and welcome. Today I want to talk to you about something that has seriously upped my lifestyle game. Bespoke Post. It's not just a subscription box, it's a freaking game changer. First things first, Bespoke Post is all about discovery. Every month they handpick top shelf products from under the radar brands and they slap them in a box and they send them out to you. 90% of the products come from small brands, many of which are based right here in the US, and every box of awesome has around $70 worth of goods inside but costs you only a fraction of the value. It all starts with a simple quiz. We've got the Slash box. You can tame the great outdoors with this Japanese style blade. It's high quality stainless. It's got a walnut finish, real hardwood handle. It's got a belt attachment to keep your hands free. I got the aged box, which is really cool. I actually drink Dr. Pepper out of this thing all the time. This kit comes with a cocktail aging kit and 2 unique cocktail tumblers, plus a pair of charred white oak honeycomb staves. It elevates something standard into a sophisticated sipping experience. And then poop, dude. We got the layers box. Check out this fucking flannel. Thing's incredible. And a beanie, that's baller. It's the most comfortable fall and winter hat I've ever worn in my entire life. Now, all these things are awesome, plus Bespoke Post is a supporter of the channel. Get 20% off your first box of awesome by clicking the link in the description and using code oompaville20 at checkout. Click the link in the description or just go to Bespoke Post and use oompaville20 in the checkout. 20% off your box of awesome. Completely elevate your lifestyle, boys. Thank you to Bespoke Post for sponsoring this video and delivering endless discoveries to your doorstep. Faking disabilities. Faking disabilities is one thing that has been a trend recently over the last few years, and it's just a drop in the bucket. There are people that exist that fake disabilities for views, or they want to have some kind of disability in order to feel special and just different from the everyday regular Joe. And it has become quite common on TikTok. From the echo chamber of people who just look for self-diagnosis validation to just pretending to have things wrong with them like Tourette's, to sell things and have their businesses on TikTok get attention. It happens a lot. Autism is a really big one that's become incredibly popular lately. People like to fake or pretend they have autism or self-diagnose even when doctors tell them they don't have it.
What's that? I don't look autistic? Look, I don't blame you. A lot of doctors missed it. I don't look like Rain Man or Sheldon Cooper, but let me tell you something. The diagnostic criteria that exists was based off a bunch of dudes and little to no chicks, which means a lot of people get misdiagnosed. BPD, depression, anxiety, one of those.
Yeah, I think that's fairly well established, even in the scientific community. I don't really know what that added to the table, to be honest. No hate, obviously, but I know a girl that looks very similar to her that was recently diagnosed with autism.
Oh, you want to be different so bad? You want to be different so bad? No. I would much rather fit in and be liked.
It's like a weird individualism in not being normal, but nobody's normal, really. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Just develop a black-pilled approach to it. You don't need to have some kind of diagnosis to be special, or pretend, for that matter. The whole faking disabilities thing has been around for a long time, by the way, but it's really propped up recently with TikTok, and it's become a trend and a fad. Munchausen's has literally become a meme, like the traditional definition of meme, not like this image. We got a couple people out here on TikTok who are aware of this, by the way, such as this
guy
fellow.
diagnosed himself with ADHD based off a TikTok he related to.
So more and more TikTok is teaching me that my unusual little habits are actually ADHD strategies. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm really starting to suspect that I have it.
Then proceeded to make his entire TikTok page about ADHD.
To help me manage my ADHD, I bought this whole pile of books. My ADHD makes it hard to read.
Then got an actual assessment.
Today I'll find out if I have autism and/or ADHD.
Found out he doesn't have ADHD.
Did you know that I don't have ADHD?
But was ecstatic to find out he had autism, PTSD, and depression.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
Then made this TikTok.
One thing about me is that I am autistic. One of 3 diagnoses last week.
What the fuck is this? This is a new thing, and it's weird, and it's really, 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 really weird. This guy's name's Kevin Devine, by the way, and he's found a couple instances of this. People treating ADHD or some kind of diagnosis as if it's a trophy after winning a race. By the way, Kai responded to Kevin after all this went down.
Found out he doesn't have ADHD.
Did you know that I don't have ADHD? That video that you just grabbed like the first 2 seconds of is about how just because you meet the diagnostic criteria for a particular condition doesn't mean that you have that condition, which is not a thing that I've seen any other creator on this app or anywhere else talk about. So I am owning the mistake that I made and educating others so that they don't make the same mistake.
Kai was a little bit upset, but also very articulate and logical and explained a lot of things that were left out of Kevin's video. But I think the point still remains the same. There is a lot of just murkiness when it comes to building your identity around mental problems. We've got another video of a TikToker that found out that they were autistic after they were doing stims. Stims I did before I knew I was autistic. Leg shake. I do that. I do that as well. I don't do that. I 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 do that. Is that not normal? I'm autistic. So, child diagnosis though, not adult diagnosis. I kind of grew out of it. By the way, just to make this very clear, the problem is not necessarily the people that I've shown in this video. There are many more egregious examples. For example, the girl who faked Tourette's and got exposed. That's a fairly egregious example. This is just more of a question, a very tip of the iceberg of how weird TikTok is and how weird all this shit is in general. Imploring people to do tests, find professionals, and get help, not bad. A little further down the iceberg is the fly syringe trend. You may have seen this. It was really weird when I first saw it back in COVID times. This trend entails capturing a fly in a syringe, sucking all the air out of it, and then making it explode or implode, either or, I don't know. Or if you don't want to do that, you just give up and squish it with the plunger. This went viral, like I said, during COVID. Most of the vids have been taken down now, but we found a couple. Now, I've killed my fair share of bugs. In fact, I have a video that came out recently where I did some damage on some dried bugs because they've been getting in my house, and I tested out the bug assault stuff. You know, pretty cool. The fly syringe trend went wild, and people were actively searching for flies outside to torture.
So the fly chose its destiny, and unfortunately, since it can't fly anymore, we're gonna have to do it to you, buddy. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
That was weird. I really don't know what the point of this trend is. What a strange thing. You get 10 likes and you just blow a fly up in a syringe. Then you've got people bragging about just killing flies, which, by the way, I don't give a fuck about flies. I think if all flies died, it would probably throw off some kind of balance in the animal kingdom, but like, I wouldn't care. It's not gonna affect me. I'm not like pro fly or anything. I kill flies all the time, but I don't do it because of a trend on TikTok, which makes me better than you.
Hello?
This guy is bragging about getting famous for killing flies. Baller.
Hey yo, not TikTok famous, but got a tiny bit of TikTok clout that one single time check.
That guy is clouded up. It's crazy how many videos there are of this trend. Just people killing flies in syringes. Not swatting them or shocking them or shooting them with the bug assault. Purely just syringe death. And I don't know who started this, by the way, but there is a video from 2008 about killing a fly in a syringe with pressure.
Deposit a fly into an empty syringe. Replace the plunger and depress, leaving the fly intact. Seal the air passage with chewing gum to maximize the pressure effect. Push down on the plunger to create a positive pressure experience for the fly. Continue until...
Maybe it was from 2011. It said 2011 at the end. I'm not really sure. Fuck flies, for real though. And to be fair, I do see some living creatures and I get the urge to kill them. But every time I do, I think of the quote from the poem by Althea Davis. If I'm killed simply for living, then let death be kinder than man. This is a funny little part of the TikTok iceberg. Imitating Holocaust victims. That's right, guys. Imitating Holocaust victims. What in the fuck? For a brief time, a little while ago, there was a terrible trend going around TikTok of people pretending to be a Jew or Jewish people during the Holocaust. Do you know about that? About World War II and the Nazis and what happened to Jewish people during the Holocaust? People were basically glorifying the horrors of the Holocaust and then reaping virtue points or clout. I don't know what the fuck the idea was behind this. It was just folks dressing up, putting dirt on their faces saying that they were dying. I died by gas chambers in Auschwitz. What the fuck is this? I mean, maybe just like some kind of testing acting thing? I don't really know, dude. There was a lot of people for a short period of time that were pretending as if they were suffering in the Holocaust. And by God, that is a little cherry on top for another reason I hate the internet, dude. What the fuck? It was the year 1941. I was a young girl in a Jewish family. Now, to be fair, I don't know if the intentions are pure, but it was definitely cringe from the start and disgusting from the absolute start before the idea was even thought of. I think a lot of these people genuinely thought that they were doing a good thing and like making a social stand, something along those lines, like writing all the words on you and taking a stand for like Black Lives Matter, being a white girl on Instagram, something like that. Not to throw shade at white girls on Instagram, but you know what I'm talking about, where you just like write shit on you and it's like, what does that even do? What the fuck are you... What are you doing? Twitter was angry, you can imagine. People are pretending to be Holocaust victims in a new and disturbing trend on TikTok. This is so disrespectful. Okay, what is wrong with people? Why do you think this is okay, okay? That's a PhD, by the way. I'm not sure why I gave her that voice. She's based in Red Pilled. I agree entirely. We can all come together and agree that these people are dumbasses. The backlash for this permeated far enough into the actual cockles of the TikTok heart, all right? When you search Holocaust Challenge now on TikTok, it gives you a little thing. Look at this. We encourage you to verify the facts and trust credible sources when seeking information about the Holocaust and its legacy. So let's end that trend. That's a dumb one. That's a really, really, really dumb one. Swipe it from the platform. Just cannot imagine being someone who's just not Jewish at all and just like a fucking seeing that and being like, I'm gonna put dirt on my face and I'm gonna get some likes on TikTok. This is gonna be awesome. The next part of the iceberg is all bad. There's not any area of gray at all. It is called the Foreigner Challenge. It is incredibly dangerous and incredibly disturbing, and I do not like it one bit. TikTok has a lot of fucking bad challenges. We've kind of been over this. They got the Tide Pod Challenge, that was all. Devious Licks Challenge, stealing things. The Kia Challenge, stealing cars with USB sticks. Mudahar made a video on this. Mudahar! This one might be one of the worst challenges to have ever come out of any social media platform. I can't speak for the future, but this one's pretty bad. It's called the Foreigner Challenge because a song called Foreigner by Pop Smoke plays to the background, and then you put images of stuff that you are not supposed to put images of on TikTok there, and then it goes viral. I will say that this is just the kind of challenge that Josiah Misukami would like. This is a fellow that got exposed on YouTube for being pro-incest, pro-zoophilia, and pro-PDF file. Not a good guy. He would have loved this if he weren't in jail. The challenge was basically putting explicit photos or images or videos, whatever the fuck you want to call them, to the tune of Foreigner, a really good song. I like it. It's a bop, to be honest, I think. Due to this being on TikTok, the videos and photos of this challenge were not just from anybody. They were from people who were not of specific age, I should say, right? Minors. They upload this and then they send it, and then challenge channels would upload it, and it was just propagating illegal content. I gotta be really careful on YouTube, or they're just like, no, you can't say that. Now it's time to get demonetized and get a Strikenheimer. Leave me be. I've been a good boy. Potentially the most disgusting aspect of all this is that there were people who were really emphasizing the issue and raising awareness by spreading these videos on Twitter. Wow, that's awesome. And this whole thing originated on Funimate, the little app for video editing, and it made its way onto TikTok. It's not good, it's bad. The Bangladeshi TikTok user that used the app to traffic women. TikTok shops are huge right now. People are always peddling their snake oil, selling random shit, getting people to buy stuff. Just, it's weird. It's like a whole new commerce part of TikTok that I'm not exactly that fond of, but oh well, we'll see. I'm sure I'll probably put my candy up there one day. What if I told you before TikTok shop, people were still selling things on TikTok, and some people were selling people on TikTok using the platform for human trafficking. Back in 2021, there was a criminal enterprise that trafficked approximately 1,500 women on TikTok. The TikTok page is still active, by the way. They posted videos of these women, among other things, and it was horrible. And this guy, Hidoy Bob, I get really uncomfortable when things are bad and serious, and I start laughing, and it's not disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But this guy's name, Hidoy Bob, that's how Google pronounced it. This guy, Hidoy Bob, he was the mastermind behind the operation, and him and his gang of degenerates would traffic women across the border from Bangladesh into India, where they would be sold into prostitution. An absolute travesty. Horrible. These goobers would entice women with their TikTok page, and after recording some videos together, they would promise them better jobs abroad, and then they would traffic them, force them into prostitution. This guy would record all sorts of videos with these people, and a lot of the videos are still up, by the way. He had 50K followers at the time. Now he has 71,000. What a fucking idiot. This guy Hidoy and his bros would record all kinds of videos with the people that they would eventually traffic. And by the way, the videos are still up on his channel. I said it's active. It's still around. He doesn't post on there. He's in jail, hopefully forever. Here's a video of him and a woman lip syncing together. Hidoy, that looks like a child. So how the fuck did this guy attract these poor people that he would then traffic? Well, by hosting pool parties, of course. He and his friends would invite the women to these parties and record videos with them dancing, and he would promise them that they'd become models if they kept going with him. They would tell them about the potential to work in India, abroad, and promise that if they came with him, they would be well worth the journey. But he was a fucking lying piece of shit. All right, it turns out. One girl who was a victim of this TikTok trafficking gang, Saida, came out about her story and recalls the fact that she had no idea that she had been trafficked until they entered the country illegally. And then when she said she would go to the police, she received threats and abuse from the men who trafficked her. She recounted being taken from place to place, sharing rooms with other victims, etc. And when she attempted to intervene in an attempted assault, over another girl, a wine bottle was broken on her head. This is just some of the horrible things that these pieces of shit did back in 2021. Now, Saida was lucky enough to escape and then flee back to Bangladesh after bribing a border agent 500 rupees. And then she was able to get to the police, who then cared for her and periodically checked in on her and her family, which is incredible. That being said, Hidoy was not arrested until a video that he recorded of these women doing unspeakable things went viral, and incriminated him there. And then that's when the attention was gotten, and that's when he actually went to jail. Hidoy and 5 other fucking dipshits were arrested in connection with this trafficking charge. It's bizarre. At one point, the TikTok channel was removed, but now it's back up. I really don't know exactly what TikTok has decided to do with this or why this is a thing, but that is a scary part of TikTok, a little bit deeper down in the iceberg, all right? And finally, deep down the TikTok iceberg, we have Zachary Letham, killing to be TikTok famous. So this dumbass decided to commit a felony for some TikTok fame. What exactly did he do? Well, I will show you.
What are you gonna do, Karen?
That's not my name, so get my name straight. Go ahead.
You okay, Karen?
So it all started with Zachary filming this video of a woman named Catherine. He just calls her Karen and cuts her off, and then she's confronting him for him driving recklessly in a neighborhood. This video would get a lot of attention. The Karen stuff always does extremely well on YouTube and everywhere else. People love laughing at, for some reason, women who are mad. I don't know why. The comments of that video egged him on, obviously, because people don't like Karens. They said he should slash her tires or go after her. There were even comments of people saying things like that. The entire situation continued to escalate, with Catherine accusing Zachary of swerving into their son who was riding a bike, while he's driving. Then he was confronted by a fellow named William, according to the New York Times. And in their report, they said he elbowed Catherine and then knocked her phone from her hand onto the ground and then fled the scene. My voice just cracked. Sorry about that. Things then escalated to the worst, with Zachary being egged on by the internet, and the Durhams arrived on his property, and Zachary's wife, Sarah, told him to leave the property. Then they come close to him. Seems like they swing at him. Zachary himself was armed with a stun gun and a 4-inch knife, and the Durhams were unarmed. He attacks one of the sons, then retreats into the garage, and William follows him into the garage. He gets stabbed under the armpit. It punctures his lung, and then he eventually died from that wound. Zachary was released from jail and was allowed to be free until the trial, which is crazy. But on one side, it was considered self-defense since they came into his house or his garage, and then they threatened him. So, that's self-defense. But on the other hand, Zachary was actively seeking them out and instigating things instead of hiding in his home and calling the police. Later on, the Durhams sent a letter to the police claiming that Zachary could not have been doing it for self-defense because he lured William into the garage to record it for a TikTok, with Sarah behind the camera and recording the incident that was used in court. The court told Zachary to cease all behavior on social media that they could find an impartial jury, but then the Durhams claimed that he had created another account to talk about the case even further. Why the fuck was he allowed to use his phone? Just put him in jail or something. And further on, with Zachary remaining free, he committed another crime. He was arrested in Florida for threatening a motorist. The motorist that he threatened said that he was threatened by a guy near an airport. He threatened to ram his car, and then he also revealed a firearm. That was Zachary. When they found him, he had a BB gun that looked like an AK-47. He was charged with aggravated assault and intent to commit a felony with a deadly weapon without the intent to kill. And that would be a BB gun, I guess, is the deadly weapon. I'm not really sure. But all of this was supposedly for TikTok clout, according to the Durhams. And Zachary was eventually found in April of this year not guilty on all counts of death, which is wild, man. Anyways, TikTok is a crazy app. The rabbit hole runs deep. The iceberg goes far down. And the stuff we covered in this video hopefully are things that you will never see on your own For You page. And maybe you'll see more people eating hot dogs and funny dances and maybe some farts. Things like that. Cats, dogs, farts, maybe some chimps. Okay, guys, I love a good chimp on TikTok. Anyways, thanks for watching.